Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Prismata. We'll jump in the queue here, use up the platinum ticket, which I think we got from the last game, but I didn't show you guys winning or completing the ticket. I never know. Sometimes I end the episode while we're still looking at the replay, and sometimes I leave the replay and then we're looking at this screen when I quit. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It just happens. 5! There are 5 games live. This literally never happens. Let's go watch Wise Guy. This guy is some kind of monster. He, I don't know. He doesn't. He's been around for a very long time, like most of the top players have, and he's very good. But he often goes for very long periods without playing at all. And then when there's a tournament, he just shows up and wins, and then he stops playing again. It's a mystery. I don't know. Presumably, it is possible to beat him, and he doesn't do that well in ranked. I mean, he's rated higher than I am, but you know, he doesn't play enough to consistently be top rated like a Pooch or Sven or whatever. But he doesn't seem to need a lot of effort to get back into practice. Anyway, so kind of an interesting figure in Prismata mythology. Who's winning here? Permanent damage here I see 7. Here I see 4, but way more Bombarders and a Wincer. I notice we're not clicking the Wincer, since we were denying Absorb last turn. I'll be interested to see if it is clicked next turn. I wouldn't be surprised if the answer were no. Even if all the Wincer does is make your opponent buy 3 Aegises once, sort of fine. You know, they say you click the Wincer if A, the stuff of your opponents that you're killing is worthwhile to kill for its own good, like if it's urban sentries or something, but not if it's walls. Or B, if you want another Wincer 3 turns from now. Otherwise, if the Wincer 3 turns from now is not useful, and you're not killing anything useful with the click, you might as well just hang on to the Wincer and pretend all the stuff they were going to lose with it is dead anyway. Meanwhile, you still have the 5 drones. Here, it's clearly not the case that the stuff that we're killing is useful. And so, by making this click, Wise Guy is declaring, I want another Wincer again 3 turns from now. So that's, we can expect that coming. I'm a little surprised no one ever got a Mega Drone, but I guess maybe it was kind of hard. Wise Guy could maybe do it this turn? No, he's short energy. If you held back all the bombers and just attacked with these 4, you could Mega Drone. But what he would like to do instead is cash in all these Bombarders so that he has a ton of soak available when Wincer's coming. Alright, Modus Ponies. A strong player, but I don't remember exactly how strong. Almost certainly in the top 100, but I don't remember more details than that. Base plus 9, 60 seconds. A lot to think about here. I mean, the only big defender is Arca, and that is somewhat denied by Vi. You don't really want to have a ton of red after that, but you know, you can buy Hellhounds, and even still, that's maybe too much red. I don't know. I think Vi is probably good, but also that I don't know how to get it. Urban Sentry is also a pretty tolerable defender. You'd like that as your backline absorb most of the time. Kinetic is really useful for disrupting key purchases from your opponent, like Arca or Vi. Amparilla is obviously a looming question. I'm inclined to think that you can't get it, but you know, if your opponent is too slow, that's always something that you can threaten, is to get the Amparilla. I'm inclined to think that this is like Hound, Arca, or Urban into Hounds and Kinetics into Arca, basically. You might someday be able to get a Vi, but I wouldn't count on it. And I think that those things are good enough that Amparilla Rush is not going to really be much of a thing. But you always have to be aware of it. The other thing is to like make sure you're not too much greedier, too much slower than opponent, because if they can get an Arca that you can't counter Arca, it's a big problem. You don't want to be more than half a turn behind on Arca, so you need to get to 7 attack in a hurry. You also would like to have a Kinetic be one of the attackers so that you can threaten to snipe enemy tech, making it difficult for them to Arca. You could consider getting like BBA all at once, golden, to make sure you can Arca. I don't think that's actually very good because... Or well, getting one more Blast Forge than necessary or something like that. I don't think that's so good because you'll want some blue before that, and like, I don't know. You might though get the Arca or the Animus golden to prevent it being sniped, so you don't have to buy 2 of them. Just get your first few attack with Sentries and Tantalums into Kinetic, maybe? Tantalums help you get to Arca much more quickly because they're like effectively 2 attack for 7, which is pretty great. Okay, so this looks like opponent wants to go for the Amparilla. Or maybe they just want to get a lot of attack so that they can get Arca more quickly. Sure. I'm getting an Urban here. And I could get a Tantalum Ray, but I don't think it's great just yet. I could also pick up an Animus to let me get Hounds instead of Urbans with my blue, and then I can like get Tarsiers as well. That sort of goes against my plan of buying the Animus golden to prevent it being sniped. How much green do I need to get up to 7 attack? I want like an Urban, another Kinetic. That's 2, and like 2 Tantalums. That's 6 total? I can get there pretty soon. I don't think I need the Animus to do that, so I'm gonna get just drones here. A Kinetic is also good if they just want to threaten Amparilla, of course. So like I'm picking one up next turn. And also, ideally, like 2 Tantalums. Might be a bit much. Maybe I have to go a bit slower with the Tantalums. Yeah, I do, because I can't get the red as well, right? Ooh, what about a Thunderhead? No, that just gives them license to get a gigantic Arca that denies 7 Absorb. Why would I do that? So I want the Kinetic now so that I can threaten to snipe Animus if they get a second Forge, or to snipe Blast Forge if they get that, because they're going to be in the neighborhood of 7 attack next, like, soon, right? This is 5, they can easily add 2 and some tech, so this will stop that from being that great of a thing. Next turn I'm clicking this, gets me up to 5 attack. Add an Urban and say another Kinetic is 7? Or maybe a Tantalum, I don't know. It's 12, 18. Okay, I think this ought to be okay. Oh shoot, I need another Forge as well. That might be a bit too much. I think I'm not budgeting this correctly. Okay, so I think that though that has sort of turned out all right, because now I can do this to keep them from getting that Amparilla they want. Get another Kinetic to replace it. It sucks to be paying like $7 to kill their Animuses, but their Animuses would be doing a lot right now. And now I'm up to 4, 5, 6 attack. But I can't get all the tech I want, or 7 attack, so that's sort of like okay. And I should really like treat it as just 5 attack, because I'm probably losing this next turn as well. So I need to add like 2 more next turn, and also oh no, I need a wall here, don't I? Yeah, whoops. Ugh, I don't have enough to do all the stuff I want to do. I needed more drones to support all this, it seems like. I mean, I obviously cannot allow this Amparilla to ever occur. So I have 4 attack next turn. Could I do this and still add 3 attack? No. Right? Not possible. This is the worst. I'm just gonna lose on not buying any attackers trying to set up this Arca. And they're gonna just, whatever they do is gonna be better than this. Okay, this is stupid. I don't know. I got too caught up in... Well... I think it would have been a lot easier to get an Arca. Except that I was really caught up in the idea of kinetic tech snipes by both players, right? In me denying opponent whatever they wanted and opponent denying me whatever I wanted. And I thought that I could fix that by like buying my tech golden, but I couldn't really get enough attack without access to like red for really cheap attackers. And spending so much of my money on kinetics that I was just immediately throwing away to deny opponent a game-winning Amperillo, well, sort of, yeah, okay, they didn't get the game-winning Amperillo, but they could just buy attackers while I was doing nothing, so I don't know. I'm not even going to really look at the replay. Let's just get into another game. I don't think there's any specific things to point out there except that, like, the whole idea of the game was wrong. I should have just accepted that, like, okay, yeah, tech sniping could happen. Try to organize your build so that you don't depend on an Arca on a specific turn. And they did a good job of that by getting the Amperilla. Or by threatening Amperilla instead, where they don't care about a specific turn, and if I snipe the Animus, well, they've gotten a lot of value in that way, and they can just threaten Amperilla again. And it gets better every time. So, yeah, I guess that Amperilla was more important than Arca because you can get it relatively quickly. And even if the opponent can Arca against your Amperilla, you're still like sort of fine. They get a bunch of absorb, but you say, alright, I'll just keep adding really cheap attack. It's great if you can get both. And like, I don't know, I hoped that Tantalum Clicks would let me get an Arca very early and that I could maybe thereby make the Amperilla look bad, but clearly not. Yeah, we'll watch Wise Guy versus Mojang, I guess. No, never mind. I'm matched with Borrowed Time Zav. Base +8, 60 seconds. There's a lot of defense in this set. And also Thermite Core to make the defense a bit worse. But I think you kind of have to go for Wild Drones, and then once you're doing that, you kind of have to get Thermites and Militias. But even, like, I think both players will drone up quite a lot, and at some point they'll build some attackers that can punish Wild Drones. And then, in the meantime, both players will still just be, like, droning to replace the Wild Drones that were lost. I think this game deserves a high econ, and Wild Drone into drones is better than just drones, even if the opponent is killing the Wilds with relative ease. It's still good to get that extra infusion of money early, because it compounds, right? I wouldn't be surprised to see opponent go Wild NG next turn. No, they disagree. Okay. I'm getting Wilds. There just isn't enough attack in this set to make me that worried about having to defend while my opponent kills Wild Drones. To make me skip Wild Drone. Just like not that big a deal. I assume you get a Forge here? Like, I don't know, you could get an Animus maybe. Tarsiers into Hounds? I don't know. Tarsiers into Thermites? I don't agree with skipping Wild, but if you're going to do it, you want to build a lot of attackers, probably. And so red might be suitable for that. There's a lot of good blue stuff here, but maybe it's not stuff you want to open with. Militia would be the obvious one, of course. I don't think Endotherm Kit is much of a concern. Like, you don't really want to pick up green this game. It would deny your opponent access to Doomed Walls, but there's Infusion Grids, so meh. I think it's just too bad to give yourself green instead of investing in something more useful. I assume I'm getting a Militia next turn, which is 6, plus a Drone and a Wild is 8 more. That's 14, so I'm sort of locked in here. The thing is, like, Wilds make it better to deny Absorb. Well, they make it easier to deny Absorb. But in this set, it's already easy to do that with Militia and Thermite, and so I'm not so worried about opponent getting exploit value against me. What? Why would you not get a Militia? Maybe you really want the dollar for something, but what? Second Forge and a drone. Okay, well, I think I still get a Militia against this. It's a $6 drone, which stinks, but it's a $6 drone that turns into an attacker eventually. So I'm perfectly happy with that. It means that when I start buying Hellhounds, they'll actually be dealing damage, not just bumping into a grid. And for me, it's going to be really bad value to buy grid or anything anytime soon, because opponent can deny me Absorb with the Doomed Walls anyway, so I'm just going to keep getting more Militias. And replace the NG? Maybe? Maybe get 2? So I can buy like 4 drones and a Militia. Seems okay. Opponent has an awkward amount of tech. Like, you'd like to get up to 3 to kill a Wild, but like that would have to be Hound Rhino or something, which is not that amazing. I think I will get a grid next turn, probably, just so I don't have to deal with the threat of them not killing Wilds. I don't know. They can probably get Thermites against that, so maybe it's better to just keep buying stuff and buy Soak and let them kill it, or let them accumulate pixies that cancel it out anyway. Four drones is 12. A Militia leaves me enough that I can still... Or something blue leaves me enough money that I can still get another tech building, which I would like. Maybe an Animus. Alright, here come the Bombarders. That's going to be a bit of an issue. Well, I'm not sure exactly what to do about it. Do I back out and get a grid? Like, because otherwise I'm gonna have trouble actually replacing all the NGs they're actually killing. I want them to kill wilds. 5 drones. That might be a bit much. Just because they left me this NG doesn't mean I have to use it. It's like, what are they going to do next turn? I guess they're going to get another Thermite so that they can attack for 4. How will they want to attack for 4? Get a Hellhound? I think that's their turn. Thermite Hound. They could get a Bombarder, but oh well. And if they get Thermite Hound, Tarsier, let's say, my grid is still no good, so I don't think I'm going to buy it. I think I'm just going to do this and pick up that Animus. It's getting close to time to stop droning. I mean, there are like 10 left, but if they don't start killing my wilds pretty soon, then droning will be too greedy. If they're killing wilds, then replacing them is going to be fine because I'll still have some like resilience to being attacked. I'm still a little bit like breach tolerant. Okay, so they went with the Bombarder because I didn't offer them any good target for Thermites. That's sort of fine. I can just get a single wall. I could get a grid, but I don't really want to offer them 2 drones. A wall is fine, and then I can like get Tarsiers, another Forge, more drones because I assume they're actually killing my wilds. It would be sort of irresponsible to just kill 4 NGs instead of 2 wilds, I think. But I don't want to let them kill 2 drones. Really? You'd rather have $1 and 2 pixies than kill a wild? Why? Just so you can keep killing wilds for longer, I guess, and keep denying absorb? Okay, I guess. Sure. If you say so. Oops. Almost attacked him there accidentally. I'd like to switch from walls to grids at some point, but they're going to make it hard for me with these pixies, I guess. Maybe now, because their Bombarder ran out of clicks. I don't know, what do they threaten next turn? 6, 7, 12? I have 10. So I can get like a wall and a grid or something. And it's importantly, the grid is not getting absorb value, and I know that, but it's like I could be building 4 health instead of 3. On the other hand, maybe that's not so important because the 3 health comes faster. This might be too many drones, I don't know. Seems to be going okay so far. Could get a second Animus? That's probably too much. I need drones. Like they're killing 4 of my drones, and I'm only replacing 3, so. Not gonna kill any wilds this time? Interesting. That puts more pressure on me. But I mean, it's important to note that I am up like 11 drones at the moment, which sort of makes up for being down a few attack. I mean, not a few, a lot, right? They have like 7, 8, 9 attack, and I have 7-ish. Yeah, if you count stuff that's under construction with build time of 1, they have 7, 9, and I have 7. Okay, so that's how that's all happened. I don't think it's such great value to get another thermite at this point. It might be better to just start giving them absorb value. But suppose I wanted to, like, what would it look like? Maybe it's fine. They have like 3 absorb. This is sort of generating. These are all generating like actual attack. I don't know. Okay, I'm out of drones. Better stop buying them. A 4th forge should honestly be fine. I could get a conduit actually for force fields. I have 15 NGs left. I'd rather get the NGs now, and maybe next turn or thereabouts it'll be time for a conduit. I look forward, excuse me, to getting to the point of the game where they have to attack me and I gain access to doomed walls, which should be coming up real soon now. They're only going to be able to deny 6 absorb, and they're going to have 9 tarsiers. So in fact, yeah, starting next turn, I can get doomed walls. Maybe I could have last turn, but I didn't need to. A wall was fine. And I think I'm going to stop getting thermites as well at the moment, because I got this extra forge so I can buy, like, bombarders. And just start attacking. With Doomed Wall... Ah, no, the Doomed Wall is... Yeah. If I cut the Doomed Wall, I have to lose the Rhino. I was thinking I was over-defended, but I'm not really. I want the Rhino. I guess they're just going to leave me with these wilds forever? Ah! Hang on. They can click 3 thermites and a wild and still deny some attack. They'd have to click the 2 militias as well and not click the bombarder. I'm okay if they want to do that. Or maybe they'll just click both wilds? I don't know. We'll see. At any rate, this Doomed Wall will live long enough to get value. They can only spend a couple turns killing wilds, and that's fine. It's like they have to kill 1 per turn to cancel out all their attack, and that means this will have enough lifespan. Gonna let me kill the rhinos? I'm gonna do it. I'm pretty sure. So this kills at least 2 attack. I think... Well, maybe I could get more attackers if I force fielded here. So they're at 42, presumably. Maybe less, but... So a force field lets me, like, get a hound or something, but... Actually, maybe Splitter Rhino is better. Yeah, I think it's worth using my green to force field so I can buy 2 attackers instead of just buying like a Gauss cannon and then spending my more blue on defense. Not as far up on drones as I was, but it's still like 7 or something. I don't get any free holds here, and I don't plan to hold anything. I want to kill those rhinos. Wow, really gonna... Well, okay, yeah. Sure. Seems fine, I guess. So this is killing 1 attack. Which means this defends. And now my rhinos and bombarders are bringing stamina to the table, or bringing defense to the table. They absolutely must attack me here. So I'm getting this Doomed Wall value. It took a while, but we got it. No cool tricks we can do here, right? No, that engineer makes them granular enough. If I let them keep any number alive, they're happy. Okay. Come on, pop all the pixies. It'll be a gratifying experience. It isn't necessary, but I think they might as well do it. I don't know. I guess you might as well hold them too. It's just more fun to click is all. What? Yeah, you can't. Hey, we did it! There goes all my stuff. But lo and behold, I am fine. They're losing 1 attack, so this defends. Like a double bomber. Get wrecked. But I don't think I should. Let's just do this. Alright. Quite a grind of a game. And also, like, you can clearly see there were units like Thermite Core in the set. This spike to 45 is the giveaway. But more than that, the fact that like we were doing no damage for quite a while. Also a giveaway. I think the big picture is just like opponent didn't build enough drones. This is a set with a lot of defense. The absorb is less of a concern because Thermite Core and Militia does do a good job of denying the absorb value, but it can't deny the soak value. And okay, I was only using walls for soak for a majority of the game, but you know, there aren't really any attackers either, right? So I think that there's still a lot of defense here, even though Thermite Core, like what you use to compete with Thermite Core is efficient soak, not good absorb. And that's why I was in a hurry to, no, I wasn't in a hurry. It took me a while, longer than I would have liked. I was anxious / excited to get in the position to be able to build infusion grids. Because that keeps pace with the Thermite Core Pixies a lot better than Wall does. And really, the Thermite Core Pixies are the only thing that opponent had going for them in the low econ approach that they chose. Is that like their attack is getting full value even though I have some defense. So I needed to, in order to justify my approach of going for a lot of drones, I needed to be able to mitigate the Thermite Core issue with efficient soak like Infusion Grid. And really efficient soak like Bombarder, but I didn't want to pick that up yet, of course, because it kind of has to attack before it becomes soak. So I think my opening is pretty normal, and like up to here, everything is 100% mandatory, I think. This is like just how you have to open if you want to get wild drones and a lot of drones and blue. As I said, I don't like opponents' early infusion grid. Especially, they didn't even like use the blue for anything. Or the money they floated. They didn't use it for anything. So it would have been strictly better to get the militia and then grid, even if you thought grid was good. Well, not strictly better, because then my militia would be killing an NG, and you might not want to allow me to do that. I think that would be a poor decision. I think letting me kill an NG is fine, but it's a reason that this play is not strictly wrong. You might believe that that's the right thing to do. Let's see. Anyway, then I got this militia, sure. And now, at this point, the decisions are less clear-cut, I think. I believe it is still right to not build an absorber here, or even, like, to not build any defense, a wall or a grid, but I could be wrong about that. I think the key thing is to keep droning, because there's not really any attack being threatened by opponent, not in a serious amount. And I tried to figure out what they were going to do with this. And I know I talked about like Hound Rhino and said that doesn't seem very good, but it would get them to 3 attack. I don't remember if I talked about like Tarsier Militia, but that does seem like the right thing to do. The problem with it, of course, is that it costs you all of your money, and you're stuck on 15 drones, right? So, you know, but that's what you chose to do when you stopped at 15 drones, is you said, I want some attackers. So, okay. Given that, you should buy some attackers and not some drones. But they actually picked up this thermite core, which is a little early. Wouldn't it have been better to get a militia first and then the thermite core next turn when the Tarsiers are coming in? I don't know. But of course, then they couldn't get this bombarder. You know, if they've spent over the course of these 2 turns, they've had 3 blue, right? They spent it on thermite bombarder. I'm proposing they spend it on militia then thermite, which means they can't spend any on bombarder. The bombarder is interesting. I don't think it's good. I think it conflicts with their plan of denying the absorb and accumulating pixies, because you don't have enough thermites to click it. Well, that's not true. It gets them up to 6 attacks, so they could, like, kill a wild or something. Or kill 2 wilds, even. Or they could click thermite, click militia, kill 1 wild. Something like that. Doesn't seem that great, but maybe. I don't know. At any rate, like, I knew they could be adding a substantial amount of attack, but I have 5 NGs, like, I'll be okay. And this wall feels bad because it's not a grid, but we already know we're not absorbing, so... I wanted to build a grid anyway, but I did not want to offer them these 2 drones. I talked about that at length during the game. I don't know. Just keep droning, because I imagined they would kill wilds. But instead they didn't. Oh no, they killed a wild, yeah. And then I was still just not quite defended. Stinks a little. But, you know, just keep teching. If you have 30 drones, you better buy a lot of tech, especially when there's such efficient cheap tech sinks as Bombarder. And I finally got my transition to grids, which is nice. And as I said, I don't know if, like... I think the first 2 thermites are clearly fine. I'm not so sure about the third. It's sort of getting a bit expensive to maintain that when I could be buying bombarders or something. And just attacking. The other thing is that, like, I've been clicking militias. Like, I've been turning... What? Say on this turn. I could have done 9 damage. That's killing grid and 2 NGs, right? And then absorbing the other 3? No. Yes, correct. I could have done that, or I could give myself 6 pixies and $3. Given that I'm only killing 6 health worth of stuff, if I let loose an attack, this is effectively just giving me, like, all of these thermite cores are giving me something roughly equivalent in value to $3 per turn, which I don't know, actually. They're basically a drone that costs 1 and a blue? Ugh. Yeah, like, I mean, since clicking militias is, like, not a very efficient way to spend attack, it's a bit of an illusion to be attacking for 0 when 3 of it is militia clicks. given that I have these thermite cores, clearly I think I should do it because it just gives me $3 out of thin air and everything else cancels out. But committing to thermite cores to get this value might not have been the right idea. The other thing is I could have gotten, say, if I'd had one more thermite core, I could be clicking only one militia and generating 2 more pixies instead of $2. That would have been great, but of course that costs more pixies, more thermite cores rather, so it's a trade-off. I don't know if I got it right, but I do know that at this point in the game, like, the time for thermites is over. This thermite core basically just cost me 1 in a blue and it gave me back $3 the next turn. That's okay. It's not great. You know, I maybe could have done something better with the money. Like buy fewer NGs and buy more splitters or something, but I needed all this soak. So, I don't know. And then by the time we started attacking and I was buying bombarders and opponent was buying prompt rhinos to lose them on defense, I think it was sort of over. Right, like this turn, these turns are clearly a disaster. And with my bombarders and rhinos coming in, I'm not in any trouble. It would have been cool to get a double bombarder, but not really ultimately necessary. So I think the story here is just that this was a high econ set, and you have to play it a little bit carefully to not get overrun by absorb denial attackers. But there just aren't any attackers that are that fast in this set. So it should be manageable, and I managed it. Hooray. But you still have to play it carefully, right? Like, there were some interesting gambit decisions around, like, when do I start buying walls? Can I afford to get grid instead? But I didn't want to, so I didn't. So there. How did the defensive supplies look at the end of the game, by the way? I had a lot of grids left and a lot of doomed walls. And actually a reasonable number of walls, surprisingly enough. I kind of thought I would run out of more than that by now. One mistake I almost made was, like, when I bought this doomed wall, it is the case that they have to give it value, but I didn't really realize that they could deny absorb while clicking Doom Drone, or by clicking Doom Drone, I should say, and holding everything. The good news is they can only do that twice, and so the Doomed Wall still gets value, but I didn't calculate that until after I bought the Doomed Wall. So that could have been a mistake. It turns out to have been correct, but not, you know, for the right reasons. I thought it was getting value this very turn. There might have been a time to squeeze in a second Animus, but I think blue is worth a lot more in this game. Just for, like, bombarders, basically, and all the blue defensive supplies. You only really need 2 attack to build, like, bombarder rhino. I don't think you want to, like, try to build 4 hounds in a turn or anything weird like that. Okay, well, it's kind of a long video since we did the 2 games, even though the first one was a bit short. But since it has been a long video, it is now over. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.